Everything we're doing is on our website, so I would invite the business community to access our website. They can see all the communications that have been sent out to our families, and that might help them understand exactly what we're doing. Frankly, we're trying not to be on the cutting edge or the bleeding edge because it's really new territory for us. So our decisions, we're trying to be very deliberate, very thoughtful. We are day 10, I believe, since our students have returned from the 2-week intersession. Right. And the first week, we were able to roll out meals. We're up to about over 20,000 every time we distribute. I believe it's 3 times a week now. We are offering childcare to our first responders. We have staff from homes of our most elderly, Banner Desert, Dignity Health. They're taking advantage of our child care, and we're so blessed to have child care workers doing that. We offered the first week enrichment materials to our families to immediately get on and do some activities with their children. And then last year we did launch instructional materials. You know, our biggest challenge has been we needed to assess what our staff, our teachers had at home, and if they were prepared to interact by way of technology. And we're doing a lot of training right now. I think our secondary teachers are a little further ahead as far as doing things online. Our elementary teachers are developing packets. Some of them are online. We are just, I can't even tell you how much training is occurring virtually to help our employees access Google Meets and Google Classroom so that they can interact with children live. You know, I know some of our families have been anxious because we haven't just launched online learning across the board, but the federal laws, there's SIPA and COPA rules, it's kind of like HIPAA, where we have to put protections in place for children. So last, I believe it was Friday, we sent out parent permission slips for our children under the age of 13 so that they could begin to interact on the internet live. We're encouraging our teachers first and foremost to make connections with their children by way of phone or email, just checking up on everybody. So Terri, there's just a lot going on and we're in new territory. So we're trying to be very deliberate and cautious. We have 8 more weeks of this for the school year, and we just want to make sure what we're doing, it makes sense.
Well, I've heard some great feedback, and I know that several of our businesses and so forth in the community were very impressed with the food distribution and how you really, it was from the outside looking in, what the school district did was very seamless. So I'm sure it wasn't that way on the back end, but you and your staff needs to have a tremendous, you should be commended for that. So, so let's talk a little bit about, so high school graduation, obviously that's been put off. Can you share with us, because I know that you've been in contact with those parents, but also to let those students coming in also have that reassurance that Chandler Unified still right on target for delivering those high quality education?
Well, I would say that's one of the saddest consequences of this closure is our graduating seniors. And typically your senior year is among your most memorable for the prom and yearbook signings and all those kinds of activities. And we have, we're in in-depth conversations with our high school principals and Dr. Gilbert. And we just want to, again, go very deliberately. We don't want to make a final decision until the first week of May, just to see what transpires. You know, we're praying for a miracle with the pandemic and the virus. We're looking for ways of how we can celebrate these young people, whether it's in person or virtually. And we're open to ideas if anybody has them. And we're going to take the next couple weeks and do things very cautiously and not make premature decisions. Right now, the third quarter grades are the grades that stand students that we send the work. So their third quarter grade is really their end of the year grade. They can't make it any worse, but they certainly can improve it. So we're holding kids harmless. Those that are on the bubble or they need additional work in order to pass a subject, that opportunity is being provided.
So what are those resources, additional resources that the school needs right now?
Well, you know, the biggest challenge we have is access. We have a certain percentage of our population that doesn't have access to technology or the wireless in their homes or internet in their homes. We have distributed over 500 Chromebooks, Terri, we prioritized our seniors that needed some technology assistance, and we have acquired more hotspots so they can acquire internet services. We're working on other alternatives, how we can get internet service to those families. I'm part of a group of about 20 superintendents from around the state, and we are discussing these issues, sending recommendations to the state board and so forth. And there's some good suggestions on that, and we're working on to see how we can employ some of those suggestions to get more internet access so our kids can complete these assignments and interact with their teachers.
So Superintendent Hoffman actually came out pretty early on closing schools till the end of the year. Was there discussions ahead of time with superintendents?
We were alerted for the first closure. There weren't discussions on the ultimate decision to close. I wasn't involved in any discussions to ultimately close through the end of the year. You know, frankly, I think it put a lot of questions to rest, and it allowed us to prepare as opposed to prepare for 2-week increments. We knew now we're in it for the next, in our case, in another 8 weeks, and to prepare accordingly as opposed to prepare in short increments. So I think it was a wise decision, and we're just going to gear up and do the best we can. And I believe every family will see more and more opportunities for instruction and learning and interacting with teachers as we go down through this process.
I know it's made us as an organization really take a look internally and sharpen all of our skills as well to become a better organization. I'm sure that's what you're seeing. So if somebody wants to help out the schools or get involved, what's the best way they can do that?
You know, with this social distancing, we have all our employees on call, and right now we have sufficient people that are working for meal distribution and childcare. And right now we've had, right now we've had parents offer to donate items that can go to our care center, whether it's food or materials, and that certainly is available to us. I would invite them to contact Terri Locke's office if they have something they'd like to donate. I know there's a group in Phoenix that are donating computers, refurbishing them, and then offering them to schools. If we have organizations like that, I would ask them to contact Terri Locke, and he can put them in connection with the right person.
That's a great resource. And so is there anything else that you would like to share or really kind of put the business community at ease on how the schools are really addressing this? Because this is our future workforce.
Yeah, it is. Terri, I want everybody to know that we are making very thoughtful and deliberate decisions. We're learning something new every day. It seems to be changing like it is for all of you. Mm-hmm. For instance, we have hundreds of children who have medication in their schools. So we needed to make arrangements for those families to come on safely, acquire their medication. We have 47,000 children who have personal items at our schools. So by the month of May, we will have some kind of organized opportunity for families or children to come in and get their personal items. So there's so many things that people hadn't thought of that we are being inundated with, and trying to make sure that we follow good CDC guidelines, don't put anybody at risk, but then provide service and support to our families. And I would also say we're working really hard for preparing opportunities for this summer. You know, typically children are off school for 12 weeks. They have a 3-month summer typically. In Chandler, that's a 2-month summer. We normally have an 8-week summer. So we're going to gear up so we're ready to go in the summer to make sure we're reviewing and getting children geared up and ready to start the 2021 school year. And again, trying to keep everybody calm. We're going to get through this. And if anybody can, this country can, we're going to be fine. We just need to stay calm and pray a lot.
I agree.
And pray a lot. Don't forget that.
I agree completely. And I just wanted to thank you and all that you and your amazing team are doing, because you still continue to amaze me and deliver that quality education no matter what the circumstances are. And I think that that's really important. And so I just want to thank you for sharing, and let's hopefully get the word out, and also then have people contact, and we'll put Terri Locke's contact information on here.
That would be great.
For people to reach out and help get the right resources to the schools that you need. So thank you, Dr. Casteel.
Thank you. Thank you, Terri.